what does the coach look out for? Is there a criteria that must be satisfied? So, for example, your how much of a play time have you had?
Yeah.
How also mean your fidelity to the national cause? You know, how respectful you are to what criteria? Is it just based on form, or there are other things that a coach will have to look out for? Or is it left to the coach's discretion, or other people must have a say in it?
Well, it's an interesting question you're asking, and I'm saying this because a few months back, I'm sure it's been a year, the FA president was asked, because the issue of national team interference in player selection was very rife. And he was asked categorically, do you have a hand in who makes it to the national team? Or is the head coach allowed to make his decisions alone? And he stated very categorically that nowhere in the world does a head coach make decisions on who makes the national team by himself. I mean, I don't think he's privy to practices all over the world. I don't think that statement in itself is factual, but that was a big indicator of what our national team selection process was going to be like. And
but was that not a fair comment? Because I mean, the FA bears ultimate responsibility as the coach. Yes,
they do.
So if a certain coach comes and is just doing his own selection, in the end, it will come back to the FA.
Yeah.
So the FA having a say, and it doesn't mean that the FA will be twisting the coach's arm. FA will ensure the right things are done. Is that not correct?
Well, right things are done is relative. I feel like a lot of Ghanaians have come to the point where they believe that individuals don't get into the national team purely based on merit. And that always hurts the national team. I'll give you an example. I think that Ghana has a good set of players. We have enough quality. One of the things we've suffered the most in recent times is a lack of goodwill from Ghanaians. And this lack of goodwill basically stems from the last time we were at the World Cup, which was in Brazil, when that whole money-grabbing scam tag was given to the players. Now, if you want to emerge out of that tunnel, for Otoado, I think that the first thing that you want to do is to make your job easier as a coach at the World Cup. By that, I mean you should pick your best players. Picking your best players means picking your most informed players. Now, even in this 55-man squad, if you are going by statistics and numbers, there are a lot of players who should have been in those squads who aren't in the 55-man squad. And that was eye-raising for me. In the end, a lot of those names have come back to me, and people are saying that, well, they won't make it anyway. Even they didn't make the 55-man squad. They're definitely not making it. So I've heard players, I've spoken to players who have basically said that they've not been satisfied with the reasons they've been given for which they've been dropped from the national team. But you are asking, is it an issue of merit? Is it an issue of form? Is it an issue of rapport with the right people? I think it's a mix of everything. And that's what is right.
And also
right
depends
now.
on the system the coach wants to play, right?
It does, but you see, Selom, it's certain things will have you raise your eyebrows, because you ask yourself that if you are looking at numbers, you're looking at nuance, form, everything, and you have 4 of these individuals paraded. Everything shows that player A is clearly above the rest of the 3 below him, but he miraculously does not make the squad at all. I mean, that's very interesting. Again, a lot of it is speculative, but again, players have spoken to the coach. That's the coach has explained that I'm not taking you to the World Cup, and we know these players, and so it's very interesting, because some of those are informed players, some of those are players we feel have not been given a fair chance. I'm talking about a guy like Joseph Paintsel. It's been rife. I mean, there was literally pandemonium on social media yesterday because his numbers have been great. It's almost a case of, what more should I do to get in?
And it's official that he's been spoken to and it's not
good.
Yeah,
he's been spoken to.
And nothing can be done about it. The list officially is not
Well, what I can say is that for a guy like that, his best case would be, let's say...
That's
Paintsel, those are Joseph Paintsel's numbers.
On your screen, he's played 13 games this season. He's scored 6.
Yeah.
He's given 7 assists, and his conversion rate is 24%. Not a bad